my type.
Okay, we all go together or we go one at a time.
Yeah! Hardcore, parkour! Hardcore! Remember Andy?
A man has fallen into the river. Hey!
Hello, welcome to LTM Reviews. We get you caught up on the oldest movies. What do I think of when I think of the 1980s? Let's see. Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Smurfs, Garbage Pail Kids, Cabbage Patch Kids, and The Neverending Story. Oh, and also Michael Jackson. Can't forget that. So in The Neverending Story, you have a little boy named Bastian who is dealing with some sort of emotional issues, and then one day, while going in a bookstore, he finds this book, and then he reads it into his school's attic or school basement or whatever. The book that he reads is about a warrior or hero named, I forgot his name, but it's kind of a hard word to use. But anyways, the warrior has to go on this journey to stop the Nothing that's trying to destroy Fantasia. So it's up to him, Falcor, and the Rockbiter to go and stop the Nothing from taking over the world. It's kind of a confusing plot, but I did the best I could. But I'll just give you that's just a little bit of the summary. So, what do I think of this movie? First of all, it's pretty friggin' dark. Let's just put it that way. I remember watching, I have a little bit of a nostalgia connection with it. I have this thing called Netflix. I remember when I first got Netflix, this was the first movie I watched on Netflix. Now, I didn't grow up in the 1980s, so I never saw it when it first came out, but that's the only way I was introduced to it. I was introduced to it on Netflix. I only watched the first 15-20 minutes because it got pretty dark for me, but then I had to rewatch it again to see if it still holds up, and just so I could do this review for you guys, so just want to put that out. So the movie, I gotta say, out of all the 80s kids films I've seen, this has to be one of the darkest films I've seen. I mean, Dark Crystal was dark too, but okay, it's not as dark as Dark Crystal, but you get my point. It's a pretty dark film. There are scenes that are too depressing and kind of mean-spirited and kind of hard to watch, but in a good way. It's not like what's a good example? Oh boy, what's a good example? It's not like A Christmas Carol from Disney where the darkness is just made just so it can try to scare you. No, they're actually trying to give you like an emotional story to go into it. Basically, the main character is really genuine, and you kind of feel bad for him, and you kind of like the main character. Bastian is an alright main character, though. Then again, he's not really in it that much. He's mostly reading the story. The side characters like the Rockbiter, the Good and Kind Gnome, Falcor, very very nice side characters. I also like the puppetry of them. I mean, Falcor is like this big giant dragon who actually is one of the rare puppets that if you look very closely in the movie, he's actually breathing, and that's very, very well done. The Rockbiter, I will admit, has some problem with his mouth when it comes to the puppetry, but you know, I like how very gigantic he is. It's like when you watch this on the big screen, you really feel how big and massive he is. I do like this is a very creative movie. I like the sets and the design and the choreography and the action scenes and the design of the wolf. I forgot to mention there's a wolf in there, and he's pretty dark and creepy. I like that. I really like some of the emotional scenes, like the horse dying from the pit, and then the scenes where they're very close to the ending with the princess and Bastian being gone. I like some of the dialogue. It's very genuine. It actually feels more adult than most kids' films. And I have to give them props for actually trying to make something more adult. Like I said, this is a very, very emotional and kind of hard kids film to watch. I mean, unless you have a very sense of agony, you can probably get into the film. But, you know, that's just me. So overall, I enjoy this movie. I can't say it's my favorite 80s movie, but as far as 80s fantasy movies goes, which I've been reviewing recently, this one's pretty unique, and I think it's very underrated too. Like I said, it's not. I can't say it's as good as, say, Dark Crystal or maybe another movie I'm about to watch here in a few minutes and I'm about to review next. But you know, it's a good contender, and I definitely recommend watching this movie. If you love the 80s and you love fantasy movies, you're gonna love Neverending Story. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. It's a really fun family movie. I mean, I can't say it's really for everyone, but it's a fun family movie if you really want to experience something, if your kids to experience something different. So, if you guys like this video, please subscribe, comment below, let me know, share, like, you do what you need to do. This is LTM signing out, and I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Fred, stop being so thick-headed.
That's not the only part of him that's thick.
I heard that. Now you hear this!
Ready? Ow! Ow! Will you quit? I'm ready for some Hannah Montana coon repellent. Bite me now. I don't think so.